Hi there, friends of the vinyl community. It's Mark here again. I haven't done a video in a while, but today I'd like to attempt to do a thread response to an old thread that's been kind of floating around, and it's Jeff Recommends $1 Million thread. You mentioned in this video a couple things that are absolutely true with record collecting, and one is it's hard to find time to listen to albums, and also finding the money to buy your albums as well, because a lot of times the album you really want is priced kind of out of your range. So this thread's kind of interesting in that it kind of tells everybody how, what your limits are as to how much you're going to spend for something that you want. There's been a couple times I've kind of gone over my limit, but not too extreme though. And the albums I'm going to show you, I hope it'll give you a better idea what I'm talking about. First off, something else I should point out too is most of these records, or all these records, I've shown in the past in other videos, but they are my favorite records, and that's why I was willing to pay more for them than the typical record I own. But anyway, Led Zeppelin was re-released by Classic Records in 2007, and it was all done on 200-gram vinyl. This album, House of the Holy, is a 2-record set, and it's a heavy record. There's 400 grams of plastic in there, and then your cardboard inserts and everything else. And just phenomenal sound. And for this album, I paid close to $50 for. Mind you, these have been escalating in price like crazy. They're becoming extremely rare, especially in sealed condition. And the prices are up 2 or 3 times what I paid for them now. So I'm really glad I got it when I did, because, like I said, their price range is out of reach now for these records. And that's for all the Zeppelin albums, right from the first album to Coda. I managed to get all of them except for Song Remains the Same. I still have just a basic copy of that. This is actually a re-release. I'm not sure what year it was re-released, but I wanted to get the classic record edition of this, but by the time I got around to looking for it, the price was just too high. But I was glad to find out that they were re-releasing Song Remains the Same on Rhino Records as a 4-record set. And this is it right here, the box set. I'm sure most of you have seen this before. And I ordered it as a pre-order when it first came out, so I had to wait probably 2.5 months before I actually received it. And it's a great album, and the sound quality is amazing. It's a 4-record set on 180-gram vinyl, and it includes 6 tracks that are not on the original release. And those 6 tracks are just as good, if not better, than the stuff that's on the original album. I can't really figure out why they never released this as a full show to begin with. But this is just an amazing, amazing album. And at the time that I purchased it, it was $70. It's gone down in price a bit now. I think most places are selling it for around $60. But to me, the $70 was well worth the money, and one of my favorite albums, period. Next, I think Jeff has this album in his collection. If I recall correctly, he showed this when he was showing his Jethro Tull collection, and it's 20 years of Jethro Tull. Paid $40 for this record. It's a 4-record set, and what makes it special is that it's full of rarities and demos that you won't find on any other Jethro Tull album. And also, I think there's BBC stuff on here as well. So, for the Tull collector, this is really an essential piece, and I highly recommend it. I was very happy to pay the $40 that they paid for it. Next, I've shown this one before too, Sgt Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, and it's a Canadian pressing, and you can only get this edition on Canadian Press on a Canadian press, and it's the marble edition. You can find these on eBay, probably 1 or 2 copies at any time that are being sold on eBay, and you know, they're asking anywhere between $50 and $100 for them. I bought this off a guy who was trying to sell it for $75, but I got him down to $50, which is kind of the going rate anyway. But it's in mint shape, so I'm really happy to have this. And again, you know, it was the color of the vinyl and everything else that just really got me on this. I'm not a huge Beatles fan. I do have some of the basic, you know, more of their essential stuff, but I'm not a nutty, you know, I'm not absolutely cuckoo for Beatles kind of thing. But this album, I just had to have it when I saw it. Alright, next record. Gonna go into some Frank Zappa here. Uncle Meat. Now, I really don't own any Frank Zappa from my early teen years or my 20s or anything like that. I've been collecting Frank Zappa just over the last probably 3 years. So many of you out there have these records already, and you've had them in your collection for many years. Maybe you paid $5, $10 for them. Well, Frank Zappa is becoming very expensive these days, and especially if you want original copies with everything included, booklets and that sort of thing. And so is the story with Uncle Meat. I ended up paying $40 for this one. It is an American pressing on Bizarre Records. It's an original press, gatefold, and it comes with the Uncle Meat booklet. There it is. And just finding this album with the booklet is really hard, especially when it's in mint shape too. It's a lot of these booklets you get in records are all crinkled or crumpled or whatever. This one is really nice and flat still, in excellent condition, and very little wear to the cover. Actually, next to nothing. There's a tiny little bearing at the top. But this was really essential for my Frank Zappa collection. I had to get it. So, like I said, paid $40 plus shipping to receive this record. Last album I want to show. Bob Dylan, the Whitmark demos. And this was released a year or 2 ago, and it's volume 9 of his bootleg series. 4-record set on heavy duty 180 gram vinyl. First time I saw this was on YouTube. I was watching Spellerine's channel, and he was so excited about this. He had it on his turntable during the video, and I thought, you know, I gotta get that. It's just awesome stuff. Bob Dylan in his early days, in 1964, 1965, just filled with demos and versions that you won't hear anywhere else. You have to really get this record. Great album, and it's pressed on really nice vinyl. There's a little spiel on each of the 4 records enclosed that talk about how they press the vinyl, and extremely shiny, very nice stuff. So this record here was the most expensive album that I've purchased at $80. So that's it for my $1 Million Thread. I hope you enjoyed my video, and take care.